Hello friends, welcome back to our channel Creavidico. Like, share and subscribe to our channel if you are new and press the bell icon to never miss any update. Thank you. Okay, that day we have discussed about the characteristics of learning with some definition, types of learning. Types of learning, we have got that informal, formal, non-formal learning.
Yes, ma'am.
All these are the types of learning. So today then some other types also, the motor learning, discrimination learning, verbal learning, concept learning, and sensory learning. So today I will discuss some more natures which are given here. In the screen you will see that learning is adaptation or adjustment. Yes, with the help of learning we are able to adjust and able to and we can adapt new things and we can learn new things. So learning always helps us in the adaptation or adjustment process. Then it also helps us in the improvement. Learning is improvement means learning is often considered as a process of improvement which practice or training. With the help of learning we can train ourselves, or learning helps to train for new things. We can learn new things with the help of learning, or it can improve our performance with the help of learning. So this will be also one of the characteristics of learning. Then learning is organizing experiences. Learning is not merely additions of knowledge, it is reorganization of experiences. Yes, today we have learned different things, then the next day we will learn a new thing. So it is an organizing experiences, step by step process. So that's why we can say the learning is a organizing experience. Then the next is learning bring behavioral changes. As I have already told that with the help of learning our behavior changes. We can adjust in a new situation. We can bring different changes in our behavior in a good way. So with the help of learning it brings behavioral changes among the person to adjust in a changing situation. In a it brings mainly the progressive changes. Then the next is learning is active process. Yes, in the classroom also as a teacher we always used to say that be attentive, be active. Why? Because we know that if a student is active, then only he can learn whatever the teacher is speaking. So learning is an active process. You have to be there should be some kind of purpose, and you have to be there should be self activity. For example, learning by doing, learning by playing, that type of activities. The debate or questioning skills, all these are a part of active learning process. So the in this characters we can say that learning is an active process. With this the students can learn in a more productive way. So this is the characteristic of learning, that it should be active process. Then learning is goal directed. Yes, as I already said that there is a goal, there should be some goal and aims so that you can learn that particular thing. If there is no aim or goal, you will not learn that particular thing. For example, here you have come to take the class because you have some goal and aim, because you are the students of MEd and you want that degree and you want to be a trained teacher. So that is your goal, that's why you have come, that is the purpose. So whatever I will speak or the teacher will tell you, you will learn easily, because the learning has a goal, or and it is clear. So learning is goal directed. There should have some goal. It is purpose or goal which determines the learner sees in the learning situation and how he acts. If there is no purpose or goal, learning can hardly be seen. So that is the concept of learning. Learning is goal directed. Then the last one is learning is universal and continuous. Yes, all living creatures learns from the period of birth till death. Today also we will learn. Tomorrow also we have learned. Yesterday also we have learned something. And day by day we will learn different things. For example, everything today you have learned, or that day you have learned about the online education system. Today you are learning about learning. Some are learning about different particular skills. So every moment the individual engages himself to learn something. So we can say that learning is a universal and continuous process. Okay. Then we will move forward to the process of learning. I hope you all have understood the nature of learning. In the process of learning, now we can move forward to process of learning means there are three process of learning. The first one is the motive or drive. For example, there should be some kind of motive and drive to learn something new. The process of learning involves motive and drives. For example, dynamic force that energizes behavior and compels an individual to act. That motive should be there. Or as a teacher, you have to create that motivation among the students so that they can learn. That needs had to be developed by the teachers, or the students itself should develop that motivation so that he can learn new things and he can gain the knowledge. So motive and drives helps in the process of learning, because as long as our present behavior, knowledge, skills and performance are adequate to satisfy all our needs, use do not feel any necessity to change our behavior or acquire knowledge and skill. Therefore, it is the requirement which initiate a learner to learn something. So therefore, motive and drive should be there too, because when there is motive and drive, you will feel useful, that whatever you are learning today is useful, and that will bring motivation among the students, also among the person, whoever you are teaching. So motive and drive also act as a process of learning. Then the next one is an attractive goal. There should be some attractive goal for to achieve something. As I have explained already, that there is some kind of goal. There is a definite goal in school also, why parents are admitting their children in the school, because there is a definite goal. The course itself has some goal. The curriculum itself has some goal. The syllabus should have itself have some goal. The school, the teachers, everyone has some goal, and they wanted to achieve them, and therefore they are learning every day. So the goal is also one process of learning, because to set a definite goal for achievement, it helps. If there is no goal, we will not achieve anything. So there should be certain kind of goal to achieved. So that is the goal is another purpose of learning. Then the third one is obstacle, block and barrier. Now, how you can say that obstacle, block and barrier are also act as a learning process? Because obstacle, block and barrier, for example, in practical life also you have told, if there is no block, then how you will learn something new? So there should be certain kind of block or barrier so that you can overcome it and learn something new. If the path is very easy to you, then you will not learn anything. There must be some obstacle, block, or some kind of barrier to learn or to acquire a new skill. For example, today in online class, some are getting blockage or some are getting some obstacles. So you have to overcome it to learn something new, to gain the new knowledge. So that's why obstacle, block, and barrier also helps in the process of learning, in attainment of the goal. Because uh, this the third process helps in the second process, and the second process itself helps in the first process. Okay. There are different example in the sports fields also. If a student is getting some obstacle, he have to overcome it, and he will knew that this is my obstacle or barrier, so I have to practice more so that I can be in that group or learn that skill. So obstacle, block, and barriers are also important in the process of learning. Okay. The screen is visible. Factors affecting learning.
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So now we will discuss about the factors of learning. What are the factors which affects learning process? Okay. Then, because in the learning process we have already discussed the characteristics, natures, but we have to consider the factors also which affects the learning process. Because we listen from students also, or we have some experience of hearing about that because of this I am unable to learn this. So that is the factors which affects in learning process. So let us know about, because learning as it is considered as the process which we know the skills, attitudes, knowledge, and concept are acquired, understood, applied, and extended can be termed as a learning process. But at the same time, learning this process, there are different factors which are affecting in our mind. In the mind, if we will say the subconscious mind or conscious mind, okay, or in the training process, or in the delinquency type, if we will say. So in different personalities, in psychological way, if we will say, feelings, personalities, all this can be termed as a factors. But in a detailed way, if we wanted to know, then we have to go for this. The first point is maturation as factor in learning. As you all know, the maturation is something which is dependent upon the growth of the process, growth and development of a human being. It can be the bodily growth or mind growth. Everything will include in this process. Therefore, in psychology paper, you have listened about the growth and development, where in that subject the age group of the students are divided, and studies had been made accordingly that between this age group this type of education is needed, and between this age group this education is needed. So these are dependent on the basis of some kind of research and the growth and development of an individual. So therefore, in pre-primary or in the kindergarten system, Montessori system, there are different teaching method than the secondary school student, than the higher secondary school student, because maturation is one of the factors which affects in the learning process. We cannot provide the books of secondary schools students to the pre-primary school students, because it is not meant for them. On the basis of their needs and age group, we had to prepare accordingly, and we have to provide accordingly the study material. So therefore maturation also act as a factors. While you are learning how to drive a car, it should there is a particular age group that you have to be this age, you have to belong to that age group to learn that particular skill. So learning maturation act or deal as a factor in learning process. Or the 3 R's, the reading, writing, and this one, reckoning, can be learned only after the maturation of muscular and brain capacity. Or I will give the example, the exercise. The exercise will be useful when you are reaching particular age group. So all this involves in the process of maturation, which act as a factor in learning process. I hope you have understood the maturation. Then we will go forward. Attention and perception as a factor in learning. Yes, if there is no attention, you are not able to learn anything. So attention also helps or act as a factor in learning. It can affect the learning process if there is no attention and perception. Okay, the attention, here is the definitions given by Rose Damville, that attention as the concentration of conscious upon one subject rather than another. I have already told that brain concept, that there is conscious and subconscious mind. In a classroom or when you are learning, there should be the conscious mind should be active, so that whatever you are listening, that becomes permanent. So consciousness and concentrations leads to attention. So there are different characteristics of attention also. Means attention is focusing consciousness on one object, or attention is selective. Yes, attention is selective because only whatever is useful to us, only that creates our attention, or automatically we prefer that particular subject, because attention is selective. Attention is constantly shifting from focus to margin. Yes, attention can be shifted from one to another. If there is a large sound, the attention will shift. And that in this point, attention is selective. Here I will like to give an example. For example, you wanted to buy a mobile phone. So at that time, what you are going to your school, or you are going to the workplace, then you will see that there are different shops, and automatically your attention will be go to that shop, the posters, wherever the posters of mobile phone with coloring, then to the advertisement also in the TV. So attention is selective. Whatever is useful or you wanted to know about that particular thing, attention shifted. So attention also act as a factor in the learning process. Attention is the state of preparedness where the muscles and sense organ ready themselves for attending. Yes, attention is a state of preparedness. You have to prepare yourself, or it automatically charge up our mind, so that sense organs ready for themselves for attending. Yes, attention is something which automatically we received, or from a large sound also, from a bright color also our attention can shift. So it is related to our sense organ. Attention cannot be divided between two mental tasks. Yes, you in a particular time you can give attention to only one particular thing. So attention cannot be divided between two mental tasks. Okay. Then here are some types of attention. Voluntary attention means a person actively searches out information that has personal relevance. Voluntary means, as you all know, voluntary means that you wanted that particular thing, or you wanted to know that particular thing by yourself. No one is telling that give attention to this product or give attention to my class. You willingly, you wanted, or you have searched for that information, and you are searching for that information, and you are getting that information, and you have to provide the attention. So that will come under voluntary attention. Then the selective attention is something a person selectively focuses attention on relevant information, and person selectively. For example, among you all, some of have some hobbies of singing, hobbies of drawing, painting, hobbies of driving, or something. Different hobbies are there. So these hobbies are selective attention. They every person have selected that particular useful, or they wanted that relevant information, so it becomes their selective attention to learn that particular thing. Then involuntary attention is something, means surprise, movement, unusual sound, size of stimulus, or the process, or we can say it as unplanning one, which you have not planned, and you have to give attention. That process will come under involuntary attention. Involuntary attention, the person itself search for that information and he give attention. But involuntary attention is something which is more surprising one, threatening, and unexpected one. So here are the types of attention. Then the next is the perception. Perception is something which is the, for example, process through which a person is exposed to information, attends to the information, comprehends the information. Means first he have to receive the information through his her senses, whatever he see or whatever information he received. Then attention will come. A person allocates a processing capacity to a stimulation. Yes. Then the comprehension, you have to interpret these two, and he will get a meaning of it. With the example, we can understand that eyes react to light and give us the knowledge of brightness. If there is no eye, we will unable to see the brightness. Nose react to smell and gives us the knowledge of pleasant or unpleasant smell. Ear react to sound of barking, so it gives us knowledge of the present. Mainly the perception is related to the state of mind in which it reacts to a sensation and interprets it. So the basic of perception is senses. Whatever we see or observe through our senses, and we came to know about, and we learn something, that will come under perception. So perception, if there is a gap in the perception, so that can also affect in our learning process. In attention also, if there is break, some kind of obstacle in the attention process in the class, if there is a sound going on in your back, so it can also affect in the learning process. So these are the, and maturation also affect in the learning process. So these are some of the factors which affect in the learning process. I hope you all have understood.